Hi Natalia, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. My name is Nicole and I'm going to be your dietitian today.
Okay.
So what brings you here today?
So I just met with my doctor last week and I found out I have high blood pressure, so he sent me in to see you.
Okay. Have you heard anything about high blood pressure?
I heard the word before, kind of an idea, but I don't really know what it is or what it does to the body.
Okay, so have you heard of the DASH diet?
Not at all.
Not at all? Okay, so here it says that your blood pressure is 145/95 and the normal ranges are between, it's 120/80 or below. So you want to, in order to fix that, there are many ways. You can fix it through medications, which your doctor has probably spoke to you about. You can fix it through your diet, by losing weight, and through exercise.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk to you about the diet part first. So this is called the DASH diet. It's dietary approaches to stop hypertension. And this is basically what it is. I'm going to just say what it is and then explain it to you. It's a diet that is low in saturated fat and total fat. And it focuses on fruits and vegetables. It's rich in whole grains, fish, poultry, and other stuff. And it contains fewer sweets.
Okay.
So first, we're going to talk about the fat. I see here that you've been consuming a lot of fat. The DASH diet says that you're supposed to be consuming about 27% or less of your total calories a day should be coming from fat. And yours, based on a 24-hour recall, is 43% right now, around 43%. So the first thing we want to do is reduce that. So let me talk to you about the fats. I have a handout here that's going to help you distinguish between a good fat and a bad fat. So the good fats are the unsaturated fats and the omega-3 fatty acids. And the bad fats are the saturated fats and the trans fats. So by looking at that list of common foods in each category, I want you to tell me, and looking at your 24-hour recall, at least 2 bad fats that you're going to be replacing with good fats.
Okay, let me just look at this. So, something I can do here, I can substitute the stick of butters that I eat for the margarine tubs. And then a second one I can do is substitute the whole milk for 1% milk.
Okay. Those are great ideas. And other things you can do is, obviously, as you've probably seen here, is use olive oil and sunflower oil, which are great types of unsaturated fats. And the omega-3 fatty acids, it's usually recommended that you consume fish to get the omega-3 fatty acids about twice a week, which is really good for you. Do you like fish?
I mean, it's not my favorite, but I'll eat it sometimes.
Okay, so how many times a week do you think you consume fish about?
Maybe once a week.
Okay, at least try to get once or twice a week, because fish, the ones you've seen here, such as salmon, tuna, they're really good sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which are not only good fats, but they're good for your body.
Are nuts generally good for you too?
Yes, nuts are very good for you and you want to try to consume them, but you have to watch out the portion size.
Okay.
Usually what I tell my patients is to just use the palm of their hands for 1 serving of nuts.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to go overboard when I eat them.
Which is okay, everyone does once in a while. Okay, one other thing that the DASH diet requires you to do in order to decrease your blood pressure is to limit your salt intake. Your sodium, which is basically your salt. So you're supposed to have a maximum of 1,500 milligrams of sodium in a day. And just so you can get a picture of what that is, because I know talking in milligrams it's a little hard. 1 teaspoon of salt, if you were to fill this up to here with salt, is 2,400 milligrams of sodium.
Wow.
So you'd be consuming less than this of salt. So what I would recommend for you would be for you to just eliminate table salt. I know you said here on the 24-hour recall, it's noted that you cook a lot at home.
I do.
And I know we use salt, we tend to use salt just to get that seasoning in, but I would recommend that you use other seasonings. Are you familiar with any other seasonings? Have you used any other that you can think of?
I usually cook with basil, parsley, sometimes dried basil, even garlic, so.
Okay. Those are good, especially garlic. It will get some of the nutrients and vitamins you need.
Okay.
and it will replace the salt, obviously. Okay, so now what I'm going to teach you, when you're out, either you're eating something that, even if it's not from your house, that you know you didn't cook, or you're out to buy something, I'm going to teach you the 5-20 rule, which is a rule that you use to look. You can look at many different nutrients on a food label, but I'm going to teach you how to use it for sodium, but you can use it for other things and fat too. So when you're looking at this box over here, so in general, the 5-20 rule, this is how it works. If an item, when you're picking up an item up, you want to pick items that have 5% of either fat or sodium. Now we're looking at sodium, so 5% of sodium or less.
Okay.
And if it's above 20 or above, it's considered high. So try to pick the ones that are 5 or below.
Okay.
So let's look at this. What is the percentage of sodium in there?
So sodium is 10%.
And do you think that's high or that's low?
That would be more towards the lower end.
Correct.
Or in between, yeah.
This one's a little bit tricky because it's
In the middle?
almost in between.
Yeah.
But usually when you would pick probably, let's say, this item and another item that you'd like, and let's say you really want to eat something like this, just compare it.
Okay.
So we're just going to do a little activity here to see that you understood it.
Okay.
So I have this ramen noodles here, and I have this bag of Lay's.
Okay.
And I want you to look at the sodium content for both of them and tell me which one is a better product based on the sodium. And also, I want you to keep in mind that the serving size counts too. So keep in mind that you're looking at, try to compare how much you eat of this product or that product and to see which one's a better product.
So there are 2 serving sizes in this?
This one, let me see. Yep, if it's a serving size 2, correct.
Oh wow, I never knew that.
The 190 calories is for half
of this.
And all the sodium, it says 32%, but the 760 milligrams of sodium is for half of that.
Oh wow, nobody ever eats just half
I
of
know.
this. Alright, let me look at it. So you want the percentage of sodium for both, and which one I would eat. So this one is 7% for the one serving, which is the whole bag.
Okay.
And this one, sodium is 32% for half a serving, so 64 for this whole package. So I would definitely go with this one.
Okay, just keep in mind, don't double the percentage. Just double if you're thinking it about this way. Just double the milligrams. It's easier for you to keep track.
Alright.
And say no, it's 64%. Wait, that's way too high.
Okay.
No, it's 34%, which is still high. But keep in mind the milligrams, because look at this. This is 760 milligrams. And
how many did you say it can
1,500 milligrams.
1,500, alright.
So I want you to keep in mind that. So based on these 2 items, which one would you pick?
I would pick this one.
And why?
Well, it's just lower, and the percentage is lower for sodium.
Okay. Correct. Alright, so now we're going to go back to the fat. You're trying to decrease the fat intake. So I want you to look. There's 2 types of fats here that you can see. Trans fat is always going to be 0 here, except, as you've probably seen on that handout, on the ingredients, if it says hydrogenated oil, it means it's using trans fat. But it's always going to be 0 because they can only use so much that they don't have to put in here. But more than what they allowed amount is, they're not allowed to put more than, I think, 5.5 grams.
Okay, so if it's under that, they don't have to put it.
So it's all, the trans fat is already going to be, it's always going to be 0 is what I'm trying to say, except when you look on the ingredients list is when you're going to see hydrogenated oils.
Okay.
And that's what you need to, or partially hydrogenated oils. So that's where you need to keep in mind. So also, I want you to look for both products, the total fat and the saturated fat. So let's just look at the total fat. Based on the total fat, which product would you choose? Once again, keep in mind the serving size.
Okay. So, total fat for this one's 11%, and that one is 16%. This for one serving.
Okay. So generally, this one's higher in total fat.
Yeah.
So based on the total fat and the amount you would eat, if you were to have each one, which one would you pick?
Well, to tell you the truth, I would go with this one because it's not like I would eat half a block of this.
Okay.
So end up having the whole thing. So I'd rather just have this, that way I can control it.
Okay. So now I want you to look at the saturated fat.
Okay.
Because the saturated fat, remember, it's a bad type of fat, and that's what you want to avoid.
Okay.
So if you're confused about the total fat, which of course you want to decrease that, so the lower the amount, the better it is,
Okay.
look at the saturated fat. I want you to look at the saturated fat and tell me, based on that, which product would you choose? Just based on the saturated fat, just so you can get an idea.
Saturated is 18 and that one's 8%, so I would have the bag of chips instead of the
See, so this one has more total fat and less saturated fat.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to look at both, because total fat is all the fat that's found in the product. It's not just saturated.
Mm-hmm.
The saturated fat is the bad fat that you also want to avoid because of your high blood pressure.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm just going to say, in general, you're going to find that prepackaged products and products that are canned usually have added salt to maintain them that way. So they're going to be higher in sodium than if you were to get a fresh product. For example, if you get canned peaches, and unless you get the no salt, you can get the no salt or no added salt to them. But if you get the regular peaches, the natural peaches are going to have less sodium than the canned peaches that has salt. So keep in mind when you're buying, you may buy them, but I just want you to keep in mind that when you do, make sure they're no added salt, or if they have added salt, that you take it into account that you can only have 1,500 milligrams a day. So always go for fresh fruits and fresh vegetables are the way to go.
Okay. And then should I avoid eating out as much and just try to make more home cooked meals? And instead of buying canned tomato sauce and whatnot, make my own at home, right?
Okay, if you like cooking and you enjoy it, eating foods from home are better for you. They're better for anyone, but especially for you, because you're going to know how much salt and how much, if you're going to avoid the salt, how much of everything is going in there. You're going to know the portion size by the products you use. So each time, if you can use fresh and you can make it from home, it's better. However, reality is you're going to eat out. Like I see on the 24-hour recall here that you ate out at McDonald's yesterday. If you had made, for example, a chicken sandwich at home, it would probably, the one at McDonald's has more than 600 milligrams of sodium, just that chicken sandwich. You wouldn't think so because it's the grilled chicken, that it would be a healthier form, but it has a lot of sodium to keep the chicken the way it is. So I would just suggest whenever you can cook from home, cook from home. But when you go out, just watch out for the sodium. And even if you're at a restaurant, you can ask for the nutrition label or ask them how much sodium there is and they can look that up for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, also, the other thing that I actually said at the beginning was that weight loss and exercise would also help you. By changing your diet, at least if you're by looking at 24-hour recall and your food frequency, which is what you eat, just by changing your diet, so consuming more fruits, more vegetables, decreasing the sweets and the fats, you're going to decrease how many calories you're eating, and of course you're going to lose weight.
Oh, okay.
So that losing weight also helps your blood pressure to drop. So that's going to help you a lot. And also, I wanted to ask you, do you exercise?
Oh, no, I don't.
Would you be willing to exercise? Because exercise has a lot of benefits on not only your blood pressure, but your cholesterol. And you want to maintain the good cholesterols up there, which are the HDL cholesterol. So I would think that it would be better for you to at least start. You don't have to work out. You can just, start walking, park your car further down so you can walk to your work or to your job or wherever you go. I would suggest you start doing those little things just because it's better for you and it's going to help you decrease your blood pressure.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely willing to start exercising now.
Okay. So we're just going to wrap it up. Do you have any questions?
No, not really. If I do, I'll just bring it in my next visit.
Okay. So you're going to try to decrease your fat intake. So you're going to follow the DASH diet, which I'm going to give you a handout on. So you're going to decrease your fat intake. You limit your sodium intake. And you said are you going to try to walk at least?
Yeah. try to
Yep.
exercise more often.
Okay, it's fine because change is not going to happen,
Immediately.
immediately. So take your time. And if you don't have any questions, we will pick up in 2 weeks. I'm going to give you my phone number so you can call me and make an appointment.
Thank you.
And here's your handout to take home.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you. I'll see you next visit.